Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me, as always, on Mondays is my good friend, Michele Berra. Michele, what's up?
Hey, 2 games. We watched 2 games in which a lot of guys played.
Yeah, they are using these games as they should in ways that are less than real, I would say, in a lot of ways. I would say be really careful about any big time bold takeaways from these games in a lot of ways, because they are playing combinations of players that they won't play in the regular season. They are still trying to figure out stuff, and they will be figuring stuff out throughout the entire season, like, make no mistake. But when you see the amount of players that played last night and the combinations, it's not exactly what we'll be seeing in the regular season. So just a little be careful warning to everybody watching last night as the Thunder got walloped by the Milwaukee Bucks, 130 to 110. 130 to 110 honestly sounds pretty good compared to what I watched. I don't know about you, Michele.
Yes. Yes. I mean, 150 to 98 would probably
that feels right.
Better. Yes.
Yeah, that feels right. I think they actually won the second half. If you look at the numbers, yeah they did. Yeah, they won the second half, which then they're down 48 to 32 after the first quarter. And you're like, oh boy, what's going to happen here?
Yeah, and I discussed this a little bit on After Dark, and I don't want to repeat everything, but to me, there is a fine line between helping too much and I think that the Thunder crossed that line like too much, because Milwaukee is so crazy talented in terms of size and in general talent, but if you double them, they become unstoppable. They are just the best team in the NBA because they are not afraid of letting it fly. And yeah, I think that in the second half they kind of revert to a more conservative defense, where I'll stay with my man, and if you want to beat me, fine, so be it. But as you mentioned on Twitter and probably on our private chat, if you wanted to know why last season OKC lost so many games, and the reason why they would lose many of them this season, it's because the interior presence and the rebounding in the interior is so bad that the defense will be very tricky to play. It's always very tricky when you don't have a stabilizing force back there.
Yeah, they lost the rebounding battle. What is it? 55 to 35.
Yeah.
I mean, they just don't have anybody that's going to rebound. I mean, they don't have anybody. The guy who had the most rebounds last night, a guy that's probably not going to be on the team, DJ Wilson, had the most rebounds last night. Second most, Josh Giddey. Like, Josh Giddey could lead the team in rebounds. Like,
yes, that could happen.
It's either going to be him or Bazley, and that's just going to be a reality for this team. And Giddey, I think, is a good rebounder. Like, I don't want to downplay the type of rebounder that he is, but if he's your very best rebounder, then you might be in a little bit of trouble. So, like, that's the problem. Also, you could tell that, and you mentioned this, like, and this is going to be, they're going to have to kind of pick their poison, because they are really small and they don't have anybody that can really defend the paint. Like, you can't play drop coverage with the personnel that they have, because there's nobody to drop. Like, what are you dropping? Like, who are you dropping toward the basket? Like, somebody that can get dunked on every time. Cool. And that's a little bit in my opinion, this is by design. Like, this is just going to be the way that it is. They're going to switch a lot. They're going to stay with their men a lot. And they have lots of young guys. You just don't win with young guys. And that's just, I picked the under for the season, and I'm feeling better about it. But also, like, you can't take last night and turn that into what it's going to be in the regular season, because, like, Shea played 19 minutes. Dort played 19 minutes. Giddey played 27. That might be close to what he plays, but I expect him to play a little bit more. Those guys playing more, the team will look better than they did. That's just it. But also, then you look at like who else is going to come in that you would say, you know what, once this kind of stabilizes, like these guys will make it better. That's really it. Like the list is over of guys that that will make this team a more stable and more fun basketball team. Yeah, Kenrich. That's right. And Kenrich hasn't played a minute because he's dealing with this toe issue.
Yeah.
So, he
was a stabilizing force last season.
So
I expect him to be impactful. I also fully expect him not playing. Like I don't foresee him playing more than 20, 22 minutes on average, because of like development minutes that are there. Not sure how much at the wing position, because I do think that yes, the leash should be long with the young guys. But if Poku plays another game like the one that he just did, not the first one. The first one was more okay than this one.
Was fine. Yeah.
This first half was going back 12 months and possibly doing it worse.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. He looked like he was like scared of Giannis, like honestly. Like he shot the ball like he was scared that Giannis was there. And his shot selection and behavior was as if he were scared that Giannis was there. Like you look at the one shot in particular, Giddey throws him the ball out on the wing, and it's the one where he hits like the side of the backboard, where he's like trying to dribble to figure out where he can shoot it from, and he just kind of throws something up. And it was concerning. It's something that obviously we're in such a small sample size right now of the season with these guys that it's not anything to like take to the bank or anything like that, but it's something to kind of file away to remember, like, oh boy, like that second preseason game was pretty bad. And
yes,
we need to see a lot more of him. We need to see a lot more of everybody, frankly, to get a better feel for it. But it's again not any big bold takes, nothing too serious from this. But you do wonder, and this is why I kind of thought they might start Poku, is if he might be better with better players around him, taking some space. But he was playing with Giddey. He was playing with some better players, so maybe that's not the case. But yeah, that was interesting. We haven't talked about Josh Giddey. The first game they played was last Monday night and we did a pod before then. And so we've gotten to see 2 games of Josh Giddey. And again, last night I thought he was impressive. The stat line isn't quite as impressive with regards to scoring: 9 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, 0 turnovers, which is pretty impressive.
That is 11 points. 11 points. 2 were carried, like the non-goaltend call on Grayson Allen was just.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that was weird. That's the officials being in preseason form as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've been very impressed with him. The feel, he feels like he belongs in the NBA is kind of my general take, which I think is really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, there is one thing that I'm impressed, first of all, and the quality of the passes that he's currently making is very high. There are just a few where it was a little bit low, but if you look at the difficulty of the passes and the accuracy, that is remarkable. In the group chat, I said there are probably 10 or less guys that can deliver the pass that he threw with one hand, probably left hand to the corner. Maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's a bit more, but still, there aren't many guys that can do that in traffic. And I think that his court vision is elite. The defense is probably going to be okay. Rebounding, as you mentioned, that is really, really good for his size and for his position. One thing that will be crucial for him is that when is without the ball, right now he's not a screener. He tried to screen for Shea a couple of times and he was kind of out of position and stuff like that. I'm sure that they are trying to do that with him.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they realize that put him in motion and having him as a threat in a pick and roll situation, that is important. If he doesn't do that, he just either claim for the ball or stay in the corner, which is okay. But I think that there is another gear where he can go off ball. And it's crazy to me that we're already talking about like how can he be better without the ball when because when he has the ball in his hands, it is clear that he's good. Like he just is in so much control. He knows what to do. He rarely makes bad choices with the basketball. And so, I mean, so far so good. I mean, he can go into any kind of slump. He can have games where where the three ball doesn't fall and nor the free throws because the motion is still a little bit shaky. But the thing that he does well, they seem always sustainable somehow. So we'll see. I'm really impressed, and the fact that he's basically playing like he was in the NBL at the NBA level, it's insane.
What do you think of his shot?
It's weird. The upper part is weird because it's not fluid. It doesn't extend completely the arms. It's a weird shot, but the wrist is good. Like the way in which he breaks his wrist, like the final part of the shot is good. The legs, I think he's pushing with his legs, probably because of a little bit of a lack of strength, or because when he basically kicks a little bit with the right foot ahead. This is probably also to gain some rotation with his hips, which usually helps the trajectory of the shot. Curry does that all the time. If you look at Curry's shot, he always kicks a little bit the right leg in order to have his body perfectly aligned with the basket. This is something that can help in terms of accuracy and stuff like that. But sooner or later he needs to clean that up because Curry does it in a different way. He basically, I don't think he is completely imbalanced when he takes the shot, and so that is something that surely he needs to work on. But it's not bad. Like he took one shot off the dribble that was, again, it looks a little bit flat and weird, but the final part, it's very, very good. So
yeah, it's not bad. Like it's not irreparable. Like I think he's gonna be a fine shooter.
Yeah,
when it comes
and it's
down
faster
to it.
than Rubio. In the group chat, Jason was saying just like Rubio. Rubio is very slow, like
Very slow.
really slow. That is the issue with Rubio's shot. Giddey is much faster already.
And he's confident too.
Yeah.
Like Rubio wasn't always very confident in his shot. Rubio's shot's gotten better and he's gotten more accurate. But yeah, he's never going to be somebody that anyone's going to be worried about. You know, Giddey just turned 19 yesterday, and you know he's going to have a chance to improve that. Now, will he? Like, I don't know. He'll have the chance to, and he'll have the room to fail over the next couple years. You know, with this team, to where no one's going to be worried about. Oh well, you better have that shot cleaned up. You know, by midseason. If not, you can't take it. Like, no, they're going to encourage him to take it, which I think is going to be good for him. So,
yeah,
I'm not too worried about it. I tweeted earlier that this is kind of an interesting thing to watch for, is that the triple-double record for the youngest player to ever record a triple-double was set by LaMelo last season. 19 years old, 119 years, 140 days. So Josh Giddey has like a real chance to set the triple-double record for the youngest player ever to get a triple-double. So that's just something to watch for. And if he doesn't do it, like whatever. But just something fun to watch for as the season goes on. You because honestly, there might be some times where it doesn't feel so fun to watch this team. And, I think Josh is going to be a bright spot on the season. And just to kind of root for him to be able to do that would be great. And hopefully, what would be the most fun is if on November 15th, Josh Giddey sets the record for the youngest player to ever record a triple-double right in front of us, because that's the night that all of us with Down to Dunk are going to be there. So I know a lot of you guys have already bought tickets to this event. We're really, really excited, actually, with the amount of people that have already bought. Again, this is going to be going a limited number, so we're not just going to leave this open for as many people as want to buy. So we need you guys to please go check out our link. I think it's a pinned tweet on Down to Dunk's Twitter. Go check it out. You need to buy tickets as soon as possible. And we'll all sit together in Loud City. The tickets are $34. It will include a t-shirt, a ticket to the game, and then a guaranteed spot. So the first 100 people that buy, and I think we might be close to that, we'll get a guaranteed reserve spot at the recording of the podcast and a t-shirt. So be sure to go ahead and get your tickets for November 15th against the Miami Heat. So it should be a fun night. We will record a podcast at the Tap House. It's in the Omni Hotel, which is just right across the street. So you should be able to park, go over to the Tap House. The place is really cool, and it has a stage where we'll do the podcast, and then we'll all walk together over to the arena, go to our section, and just enjoy a night of Thunder basketball. So please buy your tickets, check that out, and just let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy a night together. I cannot wait. Michele, other youngsters on this team, Trey Mann played a lot better last night than he did in game one, I thought. I love that he took 5 threes. He only made one of them. Don't really care. Just glad that he took them. They looked pretty good to me. He was getting to the pull-up 3 early in the fourth quarter, which I really, really liked. And then 9 points, 6 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal. Fine. But he just showed some life that I wanted to see in him. So it was a good sign from Trey Mann.
Yeah, and the thing that the allure was his stuff off the dribble, either like shooting or like assisting and stuff like that. He's a very gifted ball handler, and I think that he's starting to get in his groove a little bit. And the fact that he was able to get to his pull-up 3, that is good. I think he's adjusting a little bit to the NBA side, the size of the court. That takes a while, and I think that you can see that he's kind of trying to see to adjust his spots, like where he takes shot, how he moves, and so I don't think that it's just a matter of time, because the shots that he like tries, those look very well, and so. Again, I'm not concerned. What I watched and I was very into was the fact that he was trying to compete on defense. And I think that on a team like this, you need to be extremely aggressive and you need to try your best on defense, even if you are 6'5" with short arms. You can still do a lot. And I think that being active there, it's a good sign, because that is probably the worst part of his game. And if he tries to make up for it with his aggressiveness and trying to compete and putting his body onto his man, that is something that I'm sure the coaching staff will like. And the same applies to Andrew Wiggins, which had like a bad offensive night. Aaron Wiggins, sorry. Yes.
It's a tough one. A. Wiggins is a tough one.
Yes.
Anyway, I did that last
Aaron
week.
Wiggins.
Now you get to do it this week. Yeah.
Well deserved. He really tried on defense, and that is something that to me speaks of a guy that sees a chance to be in the final roster. I'm not sure how big this is or when. But this is surely they all know that he can make shots. He is very smooth, and the shot is probably one of the best on the team. But the fact that he wants to compete on defense at that size, to me, is a very, very good sign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've been impressed with him, honestly. I hope that we get to see some more of him. He obviously will be with the team quite a bit, and we'll play with the Blues some as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I've actually been more impressed with him than I thought I would be.
Yeah.
Someone I guess the Thunder weren't that impressed with, Rob Edwards. He was waived today by the Thunder.
No, he was
Played
very
4
good in summer
minutes.
league. Very, very good.
Yeah, he's fun. He will be on the Blue. Like that's
Yeah.
part of why they signed him to this Exhibit 10 contract, so that he would play for the Blue. So if you're just dying to watch him, you can watch more Rob Edwards there. I assume that they're going to let go of DJ Wilson as well. That will happen relatively soon. And then they've got to waive somebody else. So it can be Mamadi Diakite. It could be Gabriel Deck, who still non-guaranteed. And then really, to me, the only other real candidate for them to waive would be Derek Favors, who hasn't played yet for the Thunder on the court. He's been practicing with them, trying to get back from some knee inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He wouldn't got treatment on it in LA. He's back here. I don't know what to think about it, but to me, those are the 3 guys that you would probably consider letting go of. And if it were me and the ownership group was okay with it, I would just waive Derek Favors. Honestly, there's something that the team and the organization likes about Deck. I don't know. I don't know. Quite understand it. Like whatever there. And the Diakite is kind of interesting. Like he's a little interesting to me. I'd kind of rather keep him than try to force the Derek Favors thing. But what's your opinion?
So to me, there is a tiny chance that someone gives you like a small asset for Favors and Deck. Of course, that implies that you need to play them, which is not great.
Yeah.
But I don't see Diakite being like a long-term piece or like a guy that I want to play before Isaiah Roby, for example.
Yeah, I mean, Roby is obviously better than he is at this point. If he was better than Isaiah Roby, the Bucks would have kept him.
Yeah, probably so. I'm not sure if he's better than Roby last year, but even like this season of Roby, I mean, if you don't have him, who cares?
Yeah.
Like these are not consequential players for the Thunder future, and so to me, it's always about accumulating assets. And the fact that you have a $3.5 million contract, it can be more valuable than one. Maybe you can pair together Favors and Deck, and getting like up to 15-16 millions in unwanted salary.
If they didn't have just gobs of cap space, I would be fine with that. But like they can just do that.
Yeah, but
they can just take it.
I think that there is a limit on like Deck. Okay, but I think Deck may have some shooter here and there. I don't know.
I know. I just don't know who is out there. What NBA team is just sitting out there like crunching the numbers, looking at the team, looking at all their statistical data, and saying like, man, like the missing piece is Gabriel Deck.
No, but maybe in January a team has a little bit an injury, like say they're not lucky with injuries, and hey, he's
what are you
a guy.
asking for? Like, what do you want in return?
Nothing. Like a second rounder.
Yeah, I just don't even know if you could get like a real second rounder for him. You know what I mean?
Former second round pick that is not exciting.
Yeah, I mean, you could get a flyer on a different You couldn't get Mo Bamba for Deck. There ain't no
Are
way.
you entirely sure of that?
Yes, I'm 1,000% sure. Yes,
I'm not.
totally sure. Totally sure. If
I
you could
think
do that, then yeah, you
your
do it in a heartbeat. But like, that's not
your
happening.
assessment of Bamba is way more than the general consensus on him.
Yeah, but what about it? But it doesn't matter what the general consensus is. What matters is like Orlando's thoughts on him.
Yeah, well.
You know.
Anyway,
If
Dak is a
you can
salary.
do that, you have to do it, right? Like you have to. You
Yeah,
absolutely
but
have
again,
to.
it doesn't move the needle in any direction. It's just
We're not trying to. That's the thing. Is like there's no trying to move the needle. If you're trying to move the needle anywhere, it's back.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the needle doesn't need to be moved forward until the summer of 2023.
Yeah, but you can take like projects that.
Yeah, he's a project.
To me,
That's what I'm
Dak
saying.
is
Like
not even a project.
no, he's not. He's a finish. He is what he is, and he
Yeah,
is
but
going to compete
maybe
on defense.
someone need a defender that can pass the ball.
Yeah, perhaps.
You're not sold. Okay, that's fine.
I'm not. I'm just not sold that somebody is out there. I just don't know what there is to desire about him. You know what I mean? Like it just would have to be a
His
team that knew
nickname El Tortu. That is quite
Tortuga.
the nickname you want to have in your team.
Yeah, that's cool. You have to have a translator with him or somebody else on the team that speaks Spanish.
That is weird
because he doesn't speak. I mean, he doesn't speak English. I mean, he just doesn't even really even try. From what I've gathered, I'm sure he tries, but like not with the media. He doesn't try.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know what to think about that situation. It's one of the weirder situations with the Thunder that I can think of in a really long time. I don't really have any clue what to think about it. But when it comes down to it, my guess is that Mamadi is probably gone. I hope he's not. I hope he stays. He is a delightful, delightful person, and I think that he needs to be here. I think Thunder fans would love him if they got to just watch him like on camera for like 35 seconds, just talking. Be like, everybody would be like, "All right, I'm in. Let's keep him. Let's keep him here. This kind of person that we're talking about.
He can do that with the Blue.
Maybe, yeah. He could play for the Blue. Yeah,
no,
that's totally possible.
I mean, Giddey is probably. I think that you understand the concept of a player like a mobile big that can occasionally hit a three. But to me, that occasionally is a bit like there are many occasionally good 3-point shooter that you can have on your team that are 6'8", 6'9".
Sure.
Yeah. Maybe the deck for Bamba was a little bit too much, but the point is like you can get a player that is there like a first rounder that is not panning out, and you get into the system and maybe he's better than deck, but you can do it later on. Maybe there are like teams that have again playoffs team that they miss a man because there is an unlucky injury or so, and they cannot get anyone at the deadline. Then. Hey, he played. I remember the first game Deck played. He was paired with Zion, and he held his own, like in the post.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have Deck probably for 5 minutes, 10 minutes in a playoff game, just as a defender. Like, I will not do anything else, but at least he knows what to do on a basketball court.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Would you? Oh man, they wouldn't do that. Never mind. I'm trying to find destinations for favors, like just any trade destination. I was thinking of like a Torian Prince for Derek Favors swap, get Favors to Minnesota, because they kind of, unless you just love any of their, like Naz Reid, like I like Naz Reid, like he's fine. But if you're looking for like a vet backup big to backup Towns, like Favors that's not bad. But Torian Prince is expiring. Like they don't want to take on Favors second year.
No,
so
they don't need an asset for that.
So and then I'm like trying to figure out like who else is like really needing a backup big man that's trying to compete right now. And
nobody that can pay 10 a year.
Yeah, that's the problem is that it's 10. I mean, I mean, I don't know, like you swapped Tristan Thompson for Derek Favors, but you'd have to give up the asset if you're the Thunder because Favors is another year. Thompson's expiring.
Yeah.
So that's just the trouble. That's why I'm saying like you might as well just like rip the Band-Aid off now and like let him. If he's a free agent, then there's like teams that would be like, okay, great, yeah, we'd bring Derek Favors on for nothing, sure. Like
I think that
let's
his
do it.
value, if you can keep him and maybe rehabilitate the value a little bit, the asset may come.
I'm just not interested. I have no interest in that. I just have like zero interest in like trying to rehabilitate Derek Favors'
Yeah,
value.
but Favors is not Horford.
Like I know Favors, he's not, but I don't.
If
I don't
you're
want
lucky,
I don't want the one win. I don't even want the one win. Like get it away. Like I don't want that one win. I want none of them. I would prefer the Thunder just have the worst record in the league and have the ability to not drop out of the top 5. That's what I want.
Yeah, I know, but I know.
Because if they didn't drop out of the top 5, they could have Jalen Suggs right now. So Josh Giddey's great. Maybe they still take Josh Giddey. Maybe they do. I don't know, but I'm just saying that give me the better odds. Give me the better odds every single day than the second, like, what are we going to get? Like the 52nd pick for Derek Favors? Bro, no. The difference between 5 and 6 is better than the difference in having the 52nd pick or not the 52nd pick.
Yes, that is for sure.
So just get him, just rip the Band-Aid off. Like we know that Gabriel Deck is for sure not worth one win, right? We know that. I know that
possibly
with certainty. I know it.
Okay.
I just know it. Everybody like Diakite is worth negative. He's worth negative wins. Great.
Yes.
Keep him. Okay. You know, if you can get a real asset, Hoopsock69 is in the chat giving me a hard time. Andrew, I don't want the asset. Schlecht is what he's calling me in the chat. It's not that I don't want the asset, but you have to like realize like what is if it's a first round pick, if it's a future first round pick,
it's not.
You're not getting that though. But I'm saying like with Horford, it was that, which made it like.
Could you bet at the beginning of the season that Horford will net you another first?
I don't know.
No, the answer is no. We discussed that.
Yeah, I would just say I'm just over in the Thunder. Oh my gosh, the Spurs are waiving Luka Samanic. They just picked him 19th like 2 years ago. That is weird. That's like straight weird.
For a second.
Isn't that strange? Did you hear what I said?
I lost you for a second.
Oh, the Spurs waived Luka Samanic. Just straight up waived him.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't get that at all.
Was picked 19 in the draft?
Yeah. They just picked him like 2 drafts ago.
Maybe he's not an amenable person to be around. Who knows?
Maybe he wants to go back to Europe.
Maybe.
That would be my guess. Is that he's just like, yeah, I'm not doing it here. Like and that happens for a lot of European players. Like that's some of like the danger in like trying to develop European players that like really, really need development is that maybe they're just like, what am I doing? Like I can go be a star in Europe and make money and live on the beach and have the team pay for my car.
Yeah, but it's not that easy. It's not that easy. Like Samanic can be an okay player in Europe.
Yeah. Well, a rotation player in Europe.
Yes.
Probably. And maybe and not necessarily a rotation player in the NBA.
No, that's for sure not.
Like if the Thunder signed Samanic, does he play for OKC? Like I don't know, like maybe not.
No, it's not. No. But anyway, back on the Favors deal. I mean, before internet decided that I was saying something very stupid and cut me out. Like Horford contract was longer.
Yeah.
And they still were able to get an extra deal. Now, I'm not sure that the ownership can stomach another 2 years of that money, but maybe next year there is another disgruntled star or Kevin Love contract that you may get. on your books
Mm-hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
Derek Favors. You say,
Mm-hmm.
well, we will not really pay 35, we just pay 25 and we get the first, like a real first. And ownership says yes. And maybe Cleveland gives you a real first. So these kind of things to me are in play when you have the contract on your books. Dex and Favors one. That accounts for 15 millions. And a team like
Yeah.
Cleveland can just waive Deck and either waive or keep Favors for a year. So Hoopstock 69, I'm not on Dex payroll. I'm just saying that when you have a contract there, I hope that it's a Hoopstock 69. I don't see that message anymore. But anyway, when you have 15 millions in salary that are easily moved, then you can get like money. And it's not necessary that Favors play like a lot. He can play a couple of games here and there, and then rest.
I think you play him off the bench. You make
may even
life.
have him your token starter. Who cares?
I kind of want him off the bench just to play him with guys like Poku and just like make life just like slightly easier for them. If you're gonna keep him and play him, he's not providing enough value in the starting lineup for it to make sense. I'd rather just try to develop Roby or JRE and just see if they can become something more with those guys, and also make your defense like a ton worse with those guys. And then like play Favors off the bench.
I don't see why there is all this Roby excitement.
He's a creative player on 2K, like, to me. Like, that's what he is, Like, he's just there, It's just whatever.
Hey, maybe the hype is deserved. We'll see. I haven't seen too much of him just to convince me that he's deserving of a starting spot. And my dream of Paisley since we are not getting rebounds anyway, and we're not getting defense from the big men anyway, why not playing Pokuševski, Paisley, Giddey, Dort, and Shea? Let's just do that. I think it's better. I think that developing Paisley, Pokuševski with Shea, Dort, and Giddey is more important than anything else. If you want to put JRE instead of Paisley, cool. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you can. One of these other guys will pop. It could be Roby. Like, it could be Roby that pops as like a.
What is Roby popping? Like, describe me.
Like pop, just that he shows Roby. That he's a competent enough role player to be a top 9 guy. You don't believe. You don't even believe it. You don't even give it a shot. You were just
no. That's fine. That's fine. But
yeah,
I see. Like, maybe I'm just. Maybe it's been too much since I watched Roby play.
Yeah.
But I don't see it. I mean, I see the offensive part a bit.
Yeah.
But I like his pick and pop. Is he good at that? Maybe.
No,
if that is the calling card, then okay.
But also, we just don't know that much about him yet. I just don't feel like we know enough yet.
So
he would be your fourth big. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
the fourth big is not the 9th player. As the 11th, 10th.
Okay, sure. A 10th guy.
11th, 10th,
12th, 11th. Sure, whatever. Just enough to where he sticks. And it's like, oh man, that's cool. Isaiah Roby's been on the Thunder for 6 years or whatever. Like, that's Roby popping to me.
Oh, I see. Okay, great.
Like, I'm not saying he's going to be a starter. Like,
no, but that's the point. That's the point to me.
I think they're going to draft their starting center next year.
No,
I think
but that is completely fine. Like, the fact that you say, well, Roby popping is the 11, 10, 9th best man on the team. Yeah. Fine. I agree. The best version of Roby is a useful NBA player that will not be in your playoff rotation. Great. We have the same evaluation.
Sure.
Then why bothering when you have other guys that may play the same role and have a slightly higher upside?
So who are you talking about? Like, tell me.
Jerry and Paisley.
Okay, yeah, sure. Start JRE. Great. I'm a JRE guy. I love that he took 8 threes last night. Joe Masato was like on point yesterday, talking to Jerry after the game about how he never took more than 6 threes in a game. Like he took 8 threes and like that kind of stuff is great. Like that shows that he's willing to take on like the proper role that he will play, because what he's going to have to be is he's going to have to be able to shoot the 3 at a good clip, and he's just going to have to take them when they're open. Take them, like no hesitation.
Yes.
If you have 8 open threes, boy, you're taking 8 open threes. Like that's what's happening with your role on this team. If you're curious, that's what you're going to be, and you're going to be a facilitator to a degree on the offensive end, and the defensively, he's just got to get more acclimated to the NBA game, and it's going to take some time. But yeah, I mean, they started him last night, and I'm totally cool with them playing him starting at center, which I do. It's in play. I think it's absolutely in play that he is the starting center for the Thunder for the season. And I would be fine with that.
Yeah, me too.
Either way, he's gonna play a lot. I think he'll play a lot this season, because I think you can play him at the 3 or at the 4 or the 5. He's preferably a 5, but I think you can steal minutes at the 4 with him. And then Bazley the same. Like Bazley is going to play a lot. Like that's another thing with Bazley, that he's going to play an absolute ton, just because they need forward spots and they want to figure out what he is. So
he was a bit better last night. A bit better.
Yeah, shot fell for him, which helps.
Shot fell, but it was he made a few reads defensively that I really liked.
Yeah,
he was obviously not up to the competition against Giannis nor Brook Lopez, but
yeah, Giannis, I mean, treated him like he was dust.
Not even there.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. And again, like there's somehow they were a good defense last year. That will just not be the case this season. That just will not happen.
No, unless, I mean, again, Cambridge is a very sound defensive player. If you want to have a very good lineup, you can. If you put Shea, Dort, Kenrich, Giddey, and Muscala, you probably are a good unit.
Yeah, you're okay. You're not that's not like a top 10 defense there.
No. I mean a good unit in general. That could be like a unit.
But they're not going to do that. I just don't.
No.
I just don't see a world in which they do that, which is good, which is great.
Yes.
It would be preferable to have the worst record in the league this year. That would be the preference.
Yes.
And if you can do that, that means that you can add hopefully a top 3 pick in the draft, hopefully a top tier talent, and take another. That type of pick is a giant step forward.
Yes.
You know, the thing about it is that they may take a giant step forward this year just because Giddey ends up being really good, but the typical 6th pick in the draft is not a giant step forward. The typical 2nd, 3rd, 1st pick in the draft is a giant step forward. That's not the typical 6th pick. So we're just talking odds. We're just talking what is the history? Well, the last 25 years of the draft look like? Well, the 6th pick is not going to do much for you in the last 25 years. 1st through 3rd, absolutely. Can you find outliers? Is somebody going to tweet me an outlier? Absolutely, you are. But if we're just talking on average, what do those picks do for you? They help you take a big step forward. So to me, like the goal this season should be, let's figure out if Giddey, Dort, and Shea fit at all. And let's see how that works. Number 2 is, how do we take a massive step forward, which is a code for how do we get a top 3 pick? Like that's it. And the answer is lose just a crap ton of games and play some really young guys. And then like secondary is developing everybody else, and just like trying to figure out what these other guys are, including Poku, who was really, really bad yesterday. But again, don't take anything to the bank with that. All right, we got to go. Let's go to the chat real quick. We had a lot of people in the chat today. This is great. Jay Smooth, Jeffrey Sitt, Penny Skillern's here, Ryan B. Poppin is here, telling us to trade Shea. Whoa. Hoopsock69, the Fluky, Greg Ray is here, Yanni is here. Stephen Croach is in the chat. Michael Ashton, Carson Ward. Thank you guys for joining. My guy Alex Bullerjack is here. Evan McDaniel is here. Dude Buffet is here. Madi is here. Mad Rain 03. Dylan Walker. Thank you guys so much. Daniel Tabasi, Wasan, Lawrence Field, Nathan Creamer. Buster Nakamoto is here. Chad Scott from Yukon. What's up? Wojciech from Poland. Tyler Gibbs from Tulsa. Thank you guys so much for joining. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday or Tuesday or whatever day you're listening to this. Be sure to buy tickets for Down to Dunk Night with the Thunder. That will be on November 15th. Mark your calendars. Join us. It'll be so fun. And we will talk to you guys again on Wednesday.